welcome to Kima's Never Seen It. I'm Kima, and today the movie we're going to be talking about is Independence Day. I will be honest, straight up front, I didn't think this movie was going to be what it's about, so I'm glad that I watched it so I know the truth. So let's get into what this movie's about based on the DVD cover summary. Before we get into the rest of the video, I just want you guys to know the reason why this video was not uploaded on Thursday is because if you've ever worn lip gloss that has betrayed you and it coagulates in the corners of your mouth, you know what that looks like, you know it's disgusting, and that's what happened to me. So I wasn't gonna post this, but I decided just to edit my face out a little bit or cover my mouth, that way you don't see it. So if you notice that in the video, that's what happened. So sorry this wasn't posted on Thursday, but I, with my poor editing skills, still decided to try to edit that out so we can continue to have this video. So thanks for your patience. Enjoy! The spectacle begins when massive spaceships appear in Earth's skies. But wonder turns to terror as the ship blasts destructive beams to fire down on cities all over the planet. Now the world's only hope lies with a determined band of survivors uniting for one last strike against the invaders before it's the end of mankind. So to start off with this, there's a lot of introducing different people that will be more paramount later on in the movie. But to start, it's July 2nd. And we're in space and we see something headed towards Earth. Whatever that is, there's someone in New Mexico who gets some kind of reading off of it, lets his boss know. His boss comes down and he's just like, oh, what is this? What's going on? They have no idea what it is, but they can sense something coming down to Earth. Then we jump to the Pentagon, where the people in that lab in New Mexico apparently alerted the people at the Pentagon, and they're also seeing the same thing, seeing the same readings, but they're not too sure what it is. They think it's a meteor or something just hurling towards Earth, but it's not, because whatever it is, it's moving slow. It's not speeding up as it's getting closer. And then we meet the president. So we meet the president. He has a daughter. He's on the phone with his wife. He is obviously in DC, but she's all the way in California in LA. So they're talking, having normal morning banter. And then the Secretary of Defense calls the president and lets him know what's going on. Then we meet another character. His name is David, and he's in the park playing chess with his father. Now, after they finish their game and they're talking and stuff, David goes to work. I think he works in a different type of lab, and he gets the news broken to him as well. So everybody is starting to get all this news about what's going on, and no one's happy about it. Now, these things that are coming towards Earth are starting to station in different cities. There's some in the US, there's some in Europe, there's some in Asia, there's some in Africa, there's some all over. They're just stationed in different places of the world. The president in the US doesn't want to hide. He wants to kind of be the face and on the front lines to let everybody know that everything is okay. But he says, if you want to hide, if you want to get out of here, feel free, but I'm still here with you. Now everyone is panicking because they're seeing these ship things rolling into the sky. It's bringing up all this dust. So people are scattering, people are panicking. No one knows what's going on. We shoot over to California where we meet Steven, Jasmine, and Dylan. Dylan's a little boy. And everything's shaking. But because they're in California, they're just like, oh, it's just a little earthquake. Like, nothing's going on. Crazy, by the way. But I guess if you live in California and have been there for a while, you might get used to things like that. Steven finally wakes up. He goes outside just to get the newspaper. He looks off in the distance and he finally sees what the commotion's all about. Jasmine comes outside. She sees the same thing. Dylan, the little boy, he comes outside too, but he's just like, oh, I'm fighting aliens. I'm going to get him. So he's just a kid. He doesn't know what's going on. But now they know that this isn't just some kind of earthquake. Something's happening. So now we switch back over to David. He's in the lab running all these numbers, trying to get signal from whatever's going on up in the sky. And he calls his ex-wife, they're separated. He calls her and she works in the White House for the president. He's trying to tell her, hey, there's this stuff going on. I found these readings, but she doesn't want to hear it because she's stupid.
They're communicating with a hidden signal. They're going to attack.
You are just being paranoid.
It's not paranoia. The embedding's very subtle. It's probably been overlooked.
So then he decides to go to his dad's place and he's just like, listen, we have to go up there. We have to warn him. And now David and his father are on their way to drive to the White House and let them know what he's found. Back to Steven. He was on leave from the Marines. He was basically like on a little vacation or whatever. But now that all this stuff is going on, he feels an obligation to go in there to help fight this fight. Jasmine isn't happy about it. But, again, Steve thinks that he has to just do something, has to get out there and go do something. So he decides to go. Now, Jasmine's only his girlfriend, but he's just like, you know what? You can come and stay with me. I'll make sure to make room for you at my place on base, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, so it's going to be the three of them once she gets down there. And apparently, he's actually planned on proposing to her, even though some people have a disdain for what her profession is.
And you're never going to get to fly the space shuttle if you marry a stripper.
Back to the president, he's talking to his wife. She's still in LA, like I said, and she's just like, I understand why you want to, like, you know, not hide and stay and blah, 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 but I will leave here once all the press is done, once all of the interviews are done, then I'll come back with you. So she's not leaving LA anytime soon. So David makes it to the White House. He finds his, I believe they're still together, maybe just separated, but I believe they're still together. He finds his wife, and he's just like, I need to talk to the president. I had to let him know what's going on. Now, apparently he fought him before he was president because he thought that him and his wife were having an affair. So he decided to fight the president before he was president. It was this whole big thing. Apparently they weren't messing around, but you know, David thought otherwise. But president ends up coming in. He tells him what's going on. He said that these life forms, these beings have taken over our satellites. That's how they were able to find us, get here, and we have 30 minutes before things start to go down. The president says now to everybody, leave, get as far away as you can, like just get out of here, don't worry about it. And people are starting to do that, but they're also starting to panic for good reason. So everyone's trying to leave, they're packing up their stuff, they're trying to drive, they're trying to run away, they're trying to do all this stuff. But honestly, it's just too late. It's too late. They should have left a long time ago if this was going to be a thing. And now with them trying to leave, aliens are doing what they're doing. So the president and David and them, they were on a plane. They make it out just in time before this explosion hits everywhere. Jasmine, her son, and the dog, they end up like finding some door, this like hidden place that basically bypasses the whole blow of the explosion. So they're okay. And yeah, people are trying to not get blown up. And now everything is destroyed. It's July 3rd. Everything in New York, DC, and LA destroyed, gone, done. So now Steve is ready to fight this fight with the aliens. Him and the rest of his team comrades, they're up in the sky ready to shoot this thing down. The problem is this ship has some kind of force field. So every missile they shoot at it, it's bouncing right off. It doesn't affect it at all. Big problem. And they're still fighting this fight, but they're getting tore up. They have all these other ships that come from the main big ship to come and fight them on some Star Wars shit. And they're just shooting them down, doing all this stuff. It's a lot. Steve, of course, makes it out. He's able to bypass everything. And he also ejects from his ship and lands. Which, let me also say, the way that he landed, he would have broke his legs. I know that was probably like a stunt double or like a little dummy thing or whatever. He would have broke his legs. There's no way you can land like that from the sky and be fine. The shattered knees. He goes to the ship that was initially following him and finds an alien inside, but he knocks it out and ends up dragging it to the secret Area 51. Back to Jasmine. So she's walking around trying to find any kind of life or civilization or anything, and she finds an old truck that ends up working. There's a key in it. It was working. It was fine. And she ends up going to this RV park and some other people that I didn't introduce in the beginning. There's like a family of like 2 boys, a girl. The girl is from Mrs. Doubtfire, by the way. There are a couple people from Mrs. Doubtfire in this movie, but whatever. And 2 boys, a girl, and this guy who people deem as being crazy because he said he got abducted by aliens and blah, 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 blah. But she goes to RV park where they are. Jasmine is driving around. She's trying to find people who are hurt that she can help, she can bring back or whatever. And she also ends up finding the first lady. So whatever had happened to her, she's just left in rubble, and Jasmine saves her. Back to the president. Again, I'm sorry there's so much back and forth, but there's like a lot of different stories. They all piece together, but just different storylines within this movie. So we're back with the president. He's taken to Area 51 where he sees the alien ship, one of the ships that, they actually had. And he also sees some of the aliens that are like attacking them. So apparently this has been known, but no one knew about it. And then Steve ends up coming to Area 51 where he has the alien, he brings it back. And that's also where he finds out that El Toro has, where he's from in California, that it's been destroyed. So in his head, Jasmine's gone, Dylan's gone, everything's gone. But Jasmine is still alive and the First Lady is still alive. They're still in good company. They're talking to each other and Jasmine is just trying to help aid the First Lady as much as she can because she got messed up. So Jasmine's just there for comfort. Back to Area 51. So now they're operating on that alien that Steven had given them. And the initial scientist / doctor that showed them the ship and showed them the aliens and stuff, he's doing the procedure on it while other people are watching around. So he takes a little cut into it. It opens up and he's like, okay, now we're going to do another little slice. And then they see the little alien that's actually inside. So it's protected by like an outer layer. And then they see the alien that's inside. It's alive and it starts sending these like weird noises that messes with the doctor's brain. And then he starts tearing up everybody in there. The alien then comes face to face with the president and the president is just like, listen, we can work something out, but the alien's not here for it.
Can there be a peace between us?
No peace.
They end up shooting it down. They go inside and end up shooting it down. But now they know they have a serious problem on their hands. There's no willingness to have some kind of treaty, peace, nothing. They're there to destroy. So they get a bunch of soldiers together to go try to shoot down this ship again. Doesn't work. Even though they hit it, for some reason, it still did nothing. And they have a lot, like, it's a lot. Meanwhile, Steve finds a ship or an aircraft, goes and finds Jasmine and finds the First Lady and brings them back. Now, again, the First Lady is in bad hands and she ends up going to the doctor, but they straight up tell the president, like, she's not going to make it. She's not going to make it out. And she does end up dying. And now we're on July 4th. Mind you, all of this is happening within the course of a couple days. You know how much stuff that is to go through in the course of just a couple days? We're going on day 3. And so much has happened. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ!
So again, it's July 4th. David loses hope for a little bit and he's over here drinking, getting drunk, throwing things around. He doesn't know what's going on, but his dad talks some sense into him. And then David starts to think and be like, wait, I think I know what we can do. So basically David wants to do the same thing that the aliens did to Earth. So he wants to be able to go in, attack their satellite, get into their network and put a virus in there. That way their force field goes down, their network goes down, everything goes down, and they're able to go in, attack, and basically get them out of there. Now, the Secretary of Defense is just like, there's no way we can do that. We don't have the manpower. This is a stupid idea, blah, 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 blah. But the president has had enough of what the Secretary of Defense is saying, fires him, and it's just like, let's get in there.
However, there's one mistake I am thankful to say that I don't have to live with, Mr. President. Mr. Nimzicki, you're fired.
So now the U.S. is telling all these other countries in Europe, Asia, Africa, I think they said Canada at one point, telling everybody about what's going on. Basically, they're going to try to disarm the mothership. Once the mothership is disarmed, it will link to all the other ships around the world. They go in, they attack, boom, we're done. So the U.S. is telling everybody that everybody's on board, and now they have this plan to try to keep Earth. David is also going to join in the fight as well. He's going to be flying the main ship to the mothership with Steven. That crazy man that I had brought up earlier, he's going to help in combat because, again, he just wants revenge on these aliens from whatever they did to him back in the day, so he's in there too.
Ever since I was kidnapped by aliens 10 years ago, I've been dying for some payback, and I just want you to know that I won't let you down.
And now David and Jasmine are getting married, which David did say that should have happened a long time ago. I just think that it's weird timing, but I mean, hey. So now there's like this camaraderie, this union with the entire world. I don't remember anything like that happening to affect the entire world and us standing together since COVID dropped in 2020. Like, everybody was affected in some way, shape, or form, and we had to band together for something. So, I mean, maybe this movie was just before its time. So David and Steven are off to the mothership, while all the other aircrafts and ships are trying to make their way to the other smaller ships that are around the world. David and Steven get up to the mothership, they get inside, and they're kind of just chilling there. They're not attacking, they're not doing anything, but David uploads the virus, which disarms all of the force fields around the other ships, and then we have a montage of just like shooting back and forth, the ships spewing out their little ships to like shoot people down, do this, and that. It's just a lot of chaos that's going on. It ends with Homeboy, the crazy guy. He ends up basically sacrificing himself into one of the ships to help blow it up and save them there. They don't really show a montage of all the other countries and stuff and how they're doing, but I would assume that they're fine. Then we switch back over to Steven and David. They're still in the mothership. They're, let known that everything is good, and they start shooting up the mothership, getting in there, doing what they need to do to get that all taken care of, and they end up out safe too. And now, literally, the world is saved, and they still have their fireworks on the 4th of July. And now the 4th of July isn't just something that's like a US thing, it's now like a world thing of like, again, camaraderie, union, togetherness, all this kind of stuff. So good job, Earth. And that's the end of the movie. So it was like a 2.5 hour movie. It didn't feel too slow, but like, sometimes with all the back and forth and all these like little things in there, it begs to wonder if some of that was cut out, if it would have been a more impactful movie. So, I mean, that's just what I think, but whatever. This movie got a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't necessarily disagree. I don't think it was a bad movie. It was a little, I don't know, it did feel a little long-winded. Again, could have cut some things out. But yeah, I feel like the highest I would go is like a 73 or something like that. Nothing crazy. I will also say, now, again, y'all know I haven't seen that many movies, but was this the era of when Will Smith just decided to be like a savior of Earth? Because I haven't seen iRobot, but I think that's a fight against, a movie about fighting against like aliens taking over the world or whatever. I've seen Men in Black. It's about like aliens coming down to take over Earth and stuff. And now there's this movie where it's the same thing. Aliens coming to take over Earth and he has to save them. Like, I don't know. I guess there's not an Earth-saving movie that Will Smith hasn't seen, and that was his bag back then. But that's the end of my video for this week, and thank you all again for tuning in this wonderful Thursday. If there's something that you agree with, disagree with, you want to see how good I did, or you have any other suggestions of movies to watch in the future, leave a comment down below. Public service announcement. Like I said before, I will be taking a quick little break in August. I will not be posting any movie review, recap, first time watch videos in the month of August. I will continue to post for July, and then I will start back in September. In the meantime, like I said, make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. Make sure that, you're still letting people know about my channel, because I'm still here, just taking a quick little pause. And also, if there's any type of movie you want me to watch after my break, let me know so I can watch it. You can also follow me on social media at Kima's Never Seen It on TikTok and Instagram, and that's Kima J on Blue Sky. You can also head over to those pieces of social media and give me movie suggestions as well. More than ever, I would love to express my appreciation and gratitude for all of you for watching my videos each week. If you watch my videos very closely and track it down to the point where I post, these past couple weeks have been a little off. So I just wanted to express my appreciation for you still coming in to watch anyway. I'm still posting. I'm still doing what I can, and I'm trying to stay in here. If you just got here and you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about, well, I have other videos where you can check it out and maybe you can get a sense of what I mean. So go ahead and let me know what you think about those. But that's it for this week's video, guys, and I will see you back here next Thursday. Bye.